All right, everyone, let's go ahead and get started. First of all, welcome to tonight's very first webinar and a virtual event for the multiple different locations that we're expanding into, including Orlando, Florida, Boulder, Colorado, Charlotte, North Carolina, and also Fairfax, Virginia. My name is Jan Lam. I'll be your host and presenter tonight. We'll go through a lot of different materials here. But I'm really excited about tonight's material to go through how to make your first $100,000 part-time in real estate investing. Okay, so here's what you guys can expect tonight from us. All right, first of all, if you guys have any questions, feel free throughout the entire presentation, type your questions in the chat tool. Or when we have an open mic session, then you can go ahead and ask your questions there. All right, and we'll go ahead and get your questions answered as soon as possible. All right, make sure you participate with feedback in the chat and during open mic. You have comments or feedback about what's presented, please feel free to express yourself, and we would love to hear more from you because we want this presentation to be as engaging as possible. Now, usually our events are live in person, and we have a lot of engagement and feedback from the local folks. But of course, today, since we're doing it virtually, then we will do this virtually. All right. So a little bit about my background. All right. My name is Jan. I have a bachelor's in aerospace engineering. I have a master's in aerospace engineering, and I did all the right things that my parents taught me to do: go to school, get good grades, and go get a safe, secure job with benefits. And I thought the key to success was to be smart. And I got all those degrees to be smart, to be successful. But what would you rather say? And please be honest. I am smart or I is a millionaire. Someone told me that, and that really turned on a light bulb for myself and made me look at other opportunities other than just a corporate job. I worked at NASA, I worked at DoD, DHS. I did all those right things, but it still was not reaching the financial goals that I truly wanted. And so my journey in real estate it started back in 2011, so roughly about 13 years now. And I started on a part-time basis, and I started when I was working on a full-time job. So I was still an engineer, an IT project manager, worked at Lockheed Martin, worked at different consulting companies to be able to sustain myself and raise my family. But on a part-time basis after work, I built my real estate empire. And within 2.5 years, I completed 12 total deals and was able to leave my job from corporate America and been full-time real estate ever since then. It's been a true blessing. I have 5 beautiful kids that I had a chance to raise and never miss an event in school or one of their events that they're doing in sports or whatnot. So it's been a true blessing for us. And we're just doing this to be able to help others achieve the same blessing as well throughout the entire country. Okay. So who are we? Fortune Homes Team is a national network of real estate professionals. Now, I started particularly myself in my business in 2011, but when I went full time and left my full time job, I had extra time to be able to reach out to other people to help them succeed as well. So we started a local network, and now we're a national network of real estate professionals. We started that in 2014. Right. We also operate and own an educational division called RE Street Smart. RE Street Smart means real estate street smart. And I truly believe that because I have a master's degree in engineering, that there are a lot of people out there who are very book smart, but they're not very street smart, right? So I go to a lot of different people who have been through all these different training programs, have seen all these gurus on YouTube, and they sound very smart. They know all the acronyms, they know all the terminology, but at the end of the day, they have done zero deals. All right. So those folks I call book smart and not street smart. So that's why we named our company Street Smart, because we'll teach you some of the technical terms, but more importantly, teach you the stuff that you need to do to be successful. Because I'd rather you guys be the one who've done deals and have money in the bank versus the one who knows how to recite the encyclopedia. Okay. So to date, since 2015, 8 years now, we've trained over 1,000 students, and a lot of them have gone to be very successful. Also, market leaders in different parts of the country as well. I'm very successful. I'm very happy to see their success there. We also own and operate a construction company out in the DC metropolitan area since 2020, and also a financial capital firm, that allows you people to put their money in a safer place in real estate other than the stock market, a 401k, or a mutual fund. Okay, something they can't control. So our current location around Fortune Homes Team is that we have 3 different locations in the DMV area, the DC metropolitan area, including Maryland, and 2 parts of North Virginia, but we're also now in Southeast Virginia in the Hampton Roads area, and also in Las Vegas, Nevada. All right, those locations are growing pretty nicely, and a lot of people are joining the cause and learning how to invest in real estate, so that way they can have a similar success. And our goal, guys, is to really help more people achieve success and then work together with us so we can do deals together. And we're targeting other marketplaces. These little smiley face with the binoculars are the eyes that we're looking to expand. And you were invited here because you're in one of these locations, whether it be in Boulder, Colorado, in Charlotte, North Carolina, Orlando, Florida, Florence, South Carolina, or Atlanta, Georgia. So we're looking to expand our presence there, which is why we're doing this virtual meeting so you guys can kind of see what we're all about and how we can work with you to help you grow your real estate business or get started from scratch. Okay. So why did we personally choose to do real estate? Why didn't we decide to sell vitamins? Why did we do Amazon? Why didn't we do other things? Why did we choose real estate over all the other business opportunities, right? Well, the reason why I like real estate is because our population, especially here in the United States and of course worldwide, continues to grow through birth and through legal immigration. All right. So in the last century, you have never had a year where there was less people living in the United States than the year before that. Every year, more people grow. And because more people are here, then they will need a place to live. Since the beginning of time, humans have always needed a shelter. So backing up hundreds of years, people used to live in huts, all right? And then they lived in log cabins. And then they moved to ranches and then to single family homes and small ramblers until they go into colonials today. They have multiple bathrooms. I don't know about you guys, but when I grew up in a family of seven, 5 kids, 2 parents, right? I was one of five. And then we grew up in a 3 bedroom, 1 bathroom house. And all 7 of us would share that one bathroom with one sink. And we were okay with that in the 80s and 90s. All right. That was an accepted thing for most people. But today, it's amazing that most people who live in a single family home now must have at least 2 bathrooms where the parents or the owners have their own bathroom and then the kids have another bathroom. So that goes to show that the standard of living improves every single generation. All right. The expectation of living conditions and standards of living are expected to grow and become better every single generation. So with that, we will need to improve different pieces of real estate. And also in real estate, there's tax advantages. All right. See, you don't have tax advantages when you're investing in the stock market or mutual funds. If you have a gain, guess what? You're going to pay capital gains tax. If you own a McDonald's franchise, you have a profit, guess what? You're going to pay taxes on those profits of the McDonald's franchise. All right. But in real estate, there's special laws that allow us to depreciate and take advantage of different things to reduce our taxable liability, which is the number one expense in our household. And also controlled income growth. All right. So when I say the word controlled, that's very key because a lot of people can invest in certain things and many things. And most people who work in corporate America are trained to invest in their 401k, which is also a way of investing in the stock market or different mutual funds. And basically letting your money work under the management of somebody else. So if you ask yourself, do you have any control over the performance of that investment? And the answer is no, because you're not involved in the daily activities of that investment. So you're more of a passive person. Controlled income growth means you have some kind of control in the investments that you choose based on the sophistications and based on the risks that you see in that investment. So in real estate, over time, it's always gone up. All right. It's never gone down over time. And, yes, we had a great recession in 2008, but it bounced back pretty quickly after that. All right. So what are the reasons why people don't invest in real estate if it sounds so good? All right. Well, the dollar amount scares a lot of people. If you think about it, how much does a house cost in your local area? $200,000, $300,000? Let's say it's $300,000 for an average house. How long would it take an average person to earn $300,000? Most people will take many, many years, if not decades, to earn $300,000. So if they mess up and lose $300,000, their fear is that now they have to work that many more years to make up for their mistake in the investment. Okay, so the dollar amount scares people. They don't think they have enough capital. All right, and most people don't. I didn't have enough capital when I started. I certainly didn't because I was raising a family of 5 and I had a full-time job. They don't know where to start. And that definitely was me when I first started. I didn't know where to start. I heard about it. I watched HGTV and different gurus, but I didn't really know where to start. The fear of failure. All right, if I lose that money, what's going to happen? Do I have to make it up somewhere else? And of course, the lack of education and proven system. Okay. So in the marketplace now, guys, if you take a look at the needs out there, every year the population grows and we need an improved standard of living for the population. So most homes in the metropolitan areas are in demand, but they're outdated because they were built, decades ago. I mean, where I live near DC, a lot of the homes built inside the district was built in the early 1900s. They're in great locations where jobs are, entertainment, recreation, and different things, shopping and so forth, but they are in horrible shape because they're over 100 years old. Okay. So newer generations expect a higher standard of living. They expect more square footage. They want more, a higher ceiling height. They want more bathrooms. All right. And then investors that provide this kind of service for the market through fix and flip and buy and hold strategy. These are the people that we're looking to create because the market needs more of us. And when I say more of us, I'm talking about more of people who do what we do and know what they're doing, and they're not out there experimenting trial and error. I've seen a lot of deals that were in great locations. They were purchased at great prices, but at the end, the investor lost money or broke even because they didn't know what the heck they were doing. And then after they finished that deal, they stopped doing it. They're what I call one-time wonders. They do it one time and wonder what happened. All right. So they don't really have a solid business plan to have a sustainable growing business in real estate and just tried it out. Right. In business, there's no such thing as trying it out. You're either in it or you're not in it. Okay. There is no in between. So we're looking for helping people become sophisticated real estate investors that have a long-term goal and will stick with it through the thick and thin and outlast the test of time. Okay, so that leads into the main topic tonight, and that's making your first $100,000. Now, when I first say make your first $100,000, that sounds great, but it sounds like a cliche, right? All right, so I hear that a lot of times, but can you truly make $100,000 part time? And it wasn't until I did it myself that I said, you know what? I can do it part time, and I can have others do the same thing without leaving their job. So that way, they still have the comfort and security of health insurance, a W-2 income to pay their bills, and anything they earn on the real estate side can be extra money that goes into their bank account that builds up their portfolio for future deals till one day they can choose whether they go to work or not. And it's a beautiful thing, guys, when you go to work and you go to work at 9 o'clock in the morning, show up in the office, and you're there because you want to be there, not because you have to be there. There was a point in time in my second year doing real estate. I said, you know what? I'm going to work because I want to, because actually I do enjoy the work. But then my job, because I'm near the federal government, there's a lot of politics. All right. I enjoy the work, but I hate the politics and all these personality clashes that cost millions of dollars to taxpayers that have no reason why they should waste millions of dollars. All right. So I didn't like the environment, and it was very draining for myself personally. And so I decided to leave, and it's great to have choices. And that's where true freedom is when you have choices to do certain things because you want to and not because you have to. Okay. So making your first $100,000 is very easy. All right. We're not going to talk about rentals because that's a snowball effect that takes years to create. But making $100,000 quickly is through fix and flip, also through wholesaling. All right. So fix and flip and wholesaling are the two vehicles that we will use to help you earn your first $100,000 part time in your first year. So what is fix and flip? All right. If you guys have watched HGTV, it's exactly what you see there, less the drama. All right. A lot of the shows that you see on HGTV have a lot of dramatic effects because they're trying to create a show out of it, get ratings because all the soap operas boost the ratings. But in reality, a lot of the soap operas they advertise on TV is not here when you're actually doing the deal. So here's a house in Northern Virginia. It's Falls Church. It was built in 1952. This is what it looked like before from the backyard. This is the backyard, okay? And after we cleaned everything up, that's what it looked afterwards. Okay, so before and after, you see a lot of these on TV and different shows. Likewise, here's a kitchen that was built in the 1980s. It was very dated. All the appliances had the different colors. The refrigerator is black, the stove is white, and then the microwave is stainless steel. So it's all over the place, right? So we take that out. We take out all the old stuff, all right, hauled away, and then you build it brand new. That's the same exact kitchen in the same exact house, okay? So it's amazing what you can do when you take out all the old and bring in the new stuff there. Okay, so let me give you guys a real life example. This is the deal that we did several months ago, and this was located in Northern Virginia. It's a single family home that was built in 1998. Okay, here's the situation. The house was a single family, 4 bedroom, 2.5 bath, located in Haymarket, Virginia. The seller needed to move and does not have the time, resources, or even the desire to make the house retail ready. In fact, he was going through some things where he neglected a lot of the maintenance, and there was mold everywhere. There were spider webs, there was water damage, there was a lot of different things that happened in the house because of his personal problems that took his attention away from maintaining the house. So his thinking is that he needed cash really quickly, and he's aware of the issues the house, the mold, the flooded basement, and so forth, and is willing to sell at a discount because of those problems. Okay. So we went ahead and offered him, and we actually had an agreed upon price of $435,000. Closing cost was $5,000 for the deal. The renovation cost was $120,000 to be able to renovate the kitchens, do all the bathrooms, redo the flooring and everything. All right. And then the holding cost, all right, is $35,000. Now, the great thing about this deal is that we used none of our personal money. All the money here we used was from other people's money, OPM. Okay, so because of that, there's holding costs of $35,000 for the money that we borrowed to do this deal. All right, which includes not only interest payments, but also includes real estate taxes, insurance, and utilities costs. All right. And then the resale cost, which includes your agent commissions and also the resale closing cost when you sell the property, was $40,000. At the end of the day, all right, once it's all said and done, you do all the math. We were able to list it for $700,000. But even though we listed $700,000 on the first weekend, we got 6 total offers at 6 different prices. All right. And we were negotiating with each one of them to remove certain contingencies so that way they can close faster and so forth. But at the end of the day, we accepted the highest one that had waived the appraisal contingency and waived the home inspection contingency of $765,000. So that's $65,000 more get out of it. So when you do the math, the total profit was $130,000 for just that one deal. All right. Now every deal varies. All right. I like to say that the average fix and flip that we earn, if you negotiate a properly, is between $50,000 and $70,000. All right. This one was a little bit above average because at the time that we listed it, inventory was so low that everyone was outbidding each other trying to get access to a house. And this is despite the fact that interest rates have gone up since 3 years ago. All right. Interest rate in this time was 7%, close to 8%. APR, whereas only a few years ago it was only 2.5 to 3%. All right, so regardless of interest rates, people were still buying houses because life goes on. Okay, so just doing one of these deals have already made you the $100,000, and guess what? It was one deal, and you can do it part time because we have a particular system in place where you don't do everything. You got to have a team in place to do what you're lacking, so that way you can focus on finding the deal and also finding the funding and the money to do the deal. And that's where your highest value is, because most people can't do that. And you, and the investor, looking for the deal, structuring the deal, raising the capital are the key components for you to make this kind of money. Okay. All right. So, by the way, guys, along the way, if you guys have any questions, feel free to either raise your hand or just go ahead and type your questions in the chat, and we'll be sure to address your questions. Okay. All right. The next thing is wholesaling. Now, the great thing about wholesaling is that you don't actually buy the property yourself and you reduce your risk altogether. All right. So when you buy a house and you fix and flip it, you actually take title to the house. So if something goes bad, like for example, a tree falls on it or it was broken into, if there's a fire, now you have to go through an insurance claim and go through all that stuff because you physically own the property with certain responsibilities. All right. So there's a risk there. But of course, you have insurance policies to mitigate and reduce that risk. But in wholesaling, you never take title to the property, so the only risk you're taking is not a monetary value or or actually buying the house and seeing what happens afterwards. Your risk is just your sweat equity and your work the time you put into the deal to see if you actually make money or not. All right, here's how wholesaling works. All right, so you have this greenhouse here. All right, you have a piece of property. You and the seller are able to negotiate a great deal, and they agree to the price. You agree to the price. You get the house under contract for you to purchase from the seller. Now, while you have a ratified and signed contract already, now you start shopping it around and selling that contract to potential fix and flip investors or buy and hold landlords. All right. So you're going to shop the deal around and you're going to offer them that contract and you can offer it for a fee. It is called a assignment fee, or it could be a wholesale fee. Once you find a buyer who agrees to a price that you negotiate, now you sign another contract called an assignment contract, which assigns your original contract with the seller to this new buyer, but you're doing it for a fee. So you're selling a piece of paper with a signature on it. All right. Once it's done, you go to closing, and once the deal is closed, then you get paid. All right. So you never bought the house, you never paid utilities, you never paid real estate taxes, you didn't pay closing costs. All right. And you never paid any renovation costs whatsoever. All you did was spend your time moving from point A to point B and connecting two people together and earning a fee. And unlike a real estate agent who earns a limit of a 3 to 4% commission on their side, this assignment fee is limitless. All right. So let me give you guys an example. Okay. All right, so here's an example. This was done by one of our students in Maryland. All right, so here's a situation of the seller. The seller lives in Missouri and they rented it out for a while. Now, they used to live in this house a while back, but when they moved to Missouri for job and career purposes, they left the house here and rented it out to some other people. Well, the tenants eventually deteriorated the house. And even though they didn't do so bad of a job of maintaining it, the house was still deteriorating nonetheless. The seller were burnt out landlords and did not want to have to fly back to Maryland to do what they need to make the house resale ready. They were just burnt out and they just wanted to move on with their lives and get rid of the house. Okay, so their asking price was $425,000. Based on our analysis, we offered $350,000. All right, and after going back and forth a little bit, we agreed on a price of $365,000. Okay, so once we had a contract signed between us and the seller, here's what happened. All right, now we have what we call an open house to invite all these different investors through the house and walk through it to see if they want to make an offer on it. So you basically have a 1 hour, maybe 2 hour slot, and you promote for it. And we have a large network of fix and flip investors, between 10 to 12,000 people between Maine down to Florida and also into Texas, who are willing to buy these deals. All right. They will go look at the deal, and if they like it, they'll make an offer. So in this particular case, we promoted for an open house, and here's what happened. Okay. We received 3 offers from fix and flip investors. All right. First offer was $400,000. All right. Is that offer higher than our number of 365? The answer is yes. So we're already in the plus. We're already in profit mode. Okay. So that's exciting. But then another offer came in at $410,000. That was even more exciting. That's more than 365, and that's more than 400. Okay. And then we had another offer at $450,000 plus 100 to make sure they outbid the person who bid $450,000. Now, when we do our homework, we want to vet the buyers to make sure they're going to perform. We don't just accept an offer because they say they're going to offer this much. No, we got to make sure they perform. Have they done this before? Do they have money in the bank? All right, what's going on with this situation here before we accept any offer? So when we took a look at the one who offered 450, they provided a bank statement showing cash in the bank. All right, and this particular person showed $508,000 in the bank account, which is more than what they need to purchase it, which is $450,000. So because of the strong proof of funds, we accepted that offer. Okay, and then this is your HUD settlement closing statement. All right, so you see here that on line 101, the contract price originally was $365,000, and that's what's going to the seller after before closing costs and taxes. All right, well, let's zoom in real quick. All right, do the math. 450 minus 365 is $85,000, right? But if you remember on the first picture, there are solar panels on the roof. And, these homeowners were really nice. And they didn't realize that there's still a $20,000 lien on the solar panels. So instead of making them pay for everything, we kind of did them a favor and said, you know what? We want to help you out. So let's go ahead and split the difference. Okay. So you pay $10,000, we'll pay $10,000, and then we'll call it a day. So that's why you see here assignment fee minus the $10,000 and some change for the solar panels. So the assignment fee that our student earned was $74,000 and some change. And they never bought the property, never paid taxes, never paid utilities, and never hired a contractor or set foot in the country to buy materials or pay for labor to fix the house. $75,000 for one deal. If you did 2 of those deals per year, would you make $100,000 already? The answer is absolutely. Okay. I personally like wholesaling. I also like fix and flip. But if I had the choice between wholesaling or fix and flip, I'm going to take a look at my options. All right. If I see that I'm going to make $75,000 right now, and I'm only going to make, let's say, $120,000 for fix and flip, but I got to wait 6 months to make that money, I'd rather take $75,000 now and then focus on the next deal. In real estate, it's all about how much you can earn and how fast. The faster you can earn money is how you gain true wealth in real estate. All right. It's not how much, right? But it's how much, how fast. Your rate of earning is the key in all business success. All right. So this was a very exciting deal for the student, and they're very happy about that. Okay. So if you guys were interested in doing something similar to this, what are your steps for doing it part-time? All right. First of all, you got to dedicate, like any business, 8 to 10 hours per week and focus on your activities that you need to do to get your first deal. All right. Work with a proven system. Don't do trial and error. Don't go through on what I call the idea of the week program, because every time you switch ideas, it's going to it's always going to go to you're never going to gain any traction on that. All right. I mean, you got to stick with one system that works, even though you're not getting overnight success. In any real business, you will never have overnight success. You'll have success over time as long as you stick with it. Okay. Stay plugged in to a real estate investor community. So that way you stay plugged into like-minded individuals. So when you hang around friends and family members or coworkers who are not as like-minded as you, then you can inoculate yourself for those what I call dream stealers. All right. Some people would want to discourage people from going out of the wolf pack because they want you to stay with them. But if you have other financial goals to take care of your family and they're good friends, they should really let you go do the thing that you're passionate about and not hold you back. But a lot of times we find people getting held back because of friends and family. All right. So that's why you want to stay plugged in to a community of like-minded people to help inoculate you for that possibility. Okay, and that happened to me a lot personally. So I know that will help out a lot of others as well. Of course, setting goals and how much you want to accomplish by the end of the year. All right. And be prepared for rejection. All right. In this business or in any business, people are going to say no to you. And when they say no to you, don't take it personally. You want to take that and embrace that. Let that no and rejection empower you to go to the next one, because that means that no is one step closer to you getting a yes. All right. Every no that I personally get is one step closer to giving me a yes. So I always look forward to the very next no or rejection. Okay. So be prepared for that and don't take it personally, and you'll be fine. The lessons I personally learned is that don't waste your time and money reinventing the wheel. There's no need to go through all these different trainings. All right. We personally have the system already that we're willing to provide for everybody. And as long as you plug into the community to help you get started. All right. The way we make money is not by charging humongous training fees, like some companies do, but instead to hope and pray one day that you guys will do deals with us. And when we do deals together, because we already have an established credibility and established network, you can make money without starting from scratch like we did, and we can make money faster, and then we can make money as well because of that credibility or service that we provided. Okay, so together making money is so much better than paying people so many thousands of dollars for coaching and training, and they're going to get their money whether you succeed or not. For us, if you don't succeed, we don't get paid. So we have an incentive to make sure that you succeed, and your success is really truly our success. Okay, you get a chance to leverage our existing end buyers network, so there's no need for you to look for buyers. I mean, we already have 10 to 12,000 people all across the East Coast and into Texas and Louisiana. Why would you want to reinvent the wheel? Use that, all right? Use team members that have already been proven by others and avoid trial and error. When I first started, guys, I tried different contractors, all right? It wasn't the same result for every contractor, but over time, we were able to know how to vet people and have an established network in place that we can be comfortable referring to other people to get them started as well, whether it be a real estate agent, a private lender, a contractor, a title company, a lawyer, a settlement agent, whatever it may be. We have personal experience of certain people that we know perform and knows what our values are, and we're comfortable saying these people because they would never make us look bad, and they'll definitely take care of you. So make sure you don't try people out. If you need somebody, you can reach out to us, and we'll do our best to refer someone in our network if we have one or not. Okay. Now I'm gonna go back to you guys real quick. All right. This is where you guys get a chance to participate a little bit. All right. Feel free to unmute your mics here, but ask yourself a question. All right. There's 3 questions I want to ask here. All right. What are the impacts of high interest rates right now? All right. Interest rates now are at 7% or so for 30-year fix, but just 3 years ago it was 2 to 3%. What kind of impacts do you guys think these interest rates will have? All right. And what kind of impacts do you think inflation has? All right. And also, do you think it's a good time to do real estate? So feel free, guys. If you guys have an answer to these questions, feel free to share your thoughts on what you think are for these questions here. All right, I'll give you guys a second to think about it and think your answer, and feel free to unmute your mic to share your thoughts. And if you guys are not comfortable yet, you know what? That's okay. Feel free to chat into the type it in the chat, and then we can go from there. But impacts of interest rates. Some people would think that high interest rates would make people not want to buy houses, right? And that's true to an extent. But you know what? Life goes on. People still get married. People still retire. People still have kids. And when they get married and have kids, they need to grow their family and grow their house, right? Get a bigger house for their family and their newly married couple. Okay. But the problem is that the reason why we're having so much of multiple offers is that because people who are in their house right now, who are currently paying a very low interest rate for their 30-year fixed mortgage, they don't want to sell their house. And because they don't want to sell their house, there's low inventory. The reason why, because if they sell their house and buy another one, they're going to go away from a 3% mortgage to a 7% mortgage. And who wants to do that, right? That's why people are reluctant to sell their house, and there's low inventory in most of the United States. But people still need to buy houses. That's why home builders are still, going off the charts of building new homes in different marketplaces to be able to fulfill this need. What impacts do you think inflation has? All right. Similar thing. I mean, inflation, if there's no inventory for people to buy houses, house prices still go up, which is part of inflation. All right. Yes, commodities, have gone up. Eggs, milk, bread, and also gasoline. They have gone up for 3 years ago. All those have play a big role in impacting real estate. But nonetheless, life still goes on. As long as there's no financial crunch and that the banks are still liquid and solvent, then people will still buy houses. But once the banks start becoming insolvent and have too much debt to bear, that's when people cannot get loans, and that's when the real estate market start going south, just like it happened in 2008. Okay. And my question to you guys is this a good time to do real estate? The answer is yes. Anytime's a good time to do real estate. There's always opportunity out there. The question is, will you find it or not? Okay. All right. And then let's go to questions right now. All right. Now, there's some other things I want to go over with you guys, but let me pause real quick to ask if you guys have any questions about the topics we've had so far here. Any questions at all? Feel free to type in the chat or unmute your mics to share your question. Any questions?
I can unmute to contribute.
Yes, please.
So you mentioned from the wholesaling process, the idea is for me to get a contract in writing between myself and the seller. Would I require a realtor or some sort of a licensed realtor in the state of Florida in order to obtain a contract?
That is a great question. Now, every state has different laws. I don't think Virginia has a law to require a realtor, but you can double check on that. But the great thing, though, whether you need a realtor or not, is an opportunity, right? So like where I live in Virginia, there is legislation in the Virginia House of Representatives that will require a realtor's license if you were to do a contract assignment more than 2 times per year. So these are the wholesalers, right? And I said, you know what? That's good and bad. It's bad because now I gotta find someone with a license. It's good because now it's going to weed out all the newbies and all the amateurs out there. So that way it eliminates more competition for people who want to do this as a real business. So going, whatever laws are out there, there's always a way around it. And the way around it is you partner with a licensed agent. And then you guys work it out to where they earn a small fee, but then you're still going to do the same thing with your own contracts, and you do it under an entity where there's a licensed agent, right? But again, in Florida, I don't think you need to have a licensed agent, but I could be wrong. We should double check that. Okay. So that's a great question.
Okay. And to follow up on that, let's say I do get said contract and everything goes ideally. Typically on a home purchase contract, we have a grace period, or I forget what it's called, but there is a period of time where the contract needs to close. Let's say we extend it out to 45 days and I don't have an investor wanting to purchase it. How can I exit the contract without any liabilities on my end?
Great question. All right. And these are very great questions. Our system, in order to get a good deal, is that we offer solutions where we pay cash with no home inspection, no appraisal, and fast closing. So generally 3 weeks or less, right? And because we have such a strong buyers network, is that this has been proven in the past many years from our students, is that once let's say they get it under contract today's Wednesday, March 6th, right? Tomorrow we immediately market it out to our network and put it on our website. And then we have an open house 2 business days after that. So in this case, probably a Monday next week for a 1 or 2 hour slot. People go through the open house, and then they make an offer by the next Tuesday, the very next business day. By Tuesday, 5 p.m., we will know if we have a buyer or not, and that's less than a week after ratification. All right. Once we do have a buyer on that Tuesday, they're required to close the next week, because the buyers that we want are the ones who can close fast with cash, not needing a 45-day FHA mortgage, because the properties that we're getting under contract will not qualify for an FHA or VA mortgage anyways because of its dilapidation or condition, right? So we're working with people who can close fast. And if in the event you can't find a buyer, there is a clause in our contract templates that allow you to walk away with no penalty. But in addition to that, to add further protection, our system shows that when you make a contract with a seller, you don't have to make a 1% earnest money deposit. Our deposits are generally $100 or less. So in the event the contract does get null and void and get defaulted, the only thing you're risking is $100. But the clause is going to be in the contract that gives you that grace period for you to walk away from, or gives you a chance to renegotiate. So even though you have an open house, and let's say someone offers you a price below what you have it under contract for, you now have the opportunity to renegotiate it before the grace period ends. So that way you still have a chance to make some money between you and that person that's going to buy the house. Okay? Does that answer your question?
That does. Thank you.
So don't think about 45 days, okay? In real estate, we move at the speed of light.
So I do have a question.
Yes.
Currently right now, how many students do you have in your program?
So great question. To date, we've trained over 1,000 students. And, we did a lot of different programs before COVID because, we were doing a lot of live events. But post-COVID, we did a lot of virtual events, and we modernized our training programs where it's all virtual via Zoom now. This is like the post-COVID era, right? So instead of going to a live training event where they had to go up and show up in the classroom style and meet in person, we just do it via Zoom. And then we have a private Facebook community for all these people who are in the students. To date, I mean, we still work with a lot of our students from the past years or so. And they allow them to stay in touch with us. So in our network, we have over 1,000 students in our community. And then the people who are actively sending us deals, probably several hundreds, but a lot of them have grown to a point to where they do things independently. Some people stay loyal to us, and some people choose to have other goals, like maybe they want to venture off to commercial real estate or multifamily, or other parts of real estate in different parts of the country where we're not located yet. That's fine. But they still a lot of people still stay in touch with us and hoping one day we expand the area so that way they can still work with us. But when COVID hit, a lot of the people that live near us that trained, they all moved to different places of the country. And that's what happened. So it's not like a mass migration problem during COVID, right? But yeah, we have a lot of students still there. And we still train. We have not just myself training, but a lot of our prior students who succeeded, they're also market leaders now and mentors. So they help me with the training and maintaining of these other students as well. So that way it's not all on one person. Okay.
Beautiful. Also, how much does it cost to become a student and a part of your community?
That's a great question. So that goes back to our original first slide where about my the educational company. There's the virtual program for training is only $99. It's called the 5-day challenge. I didn't really want to advertise it here because I really wanted to get this group going before we advertise anything, just give something free, help you guys get started. But you can go to our website. In fact, I'll type it here. Okay. And if I may ask, is it Jin?
Yeah, it's pronounced Jedi.
Janai, okay. Our company for the education is restreetsmart.com, and you can go to that website there. And if I may ask, Janai, what location are you in?
I'm in Stafford, Virginia.
Stafford, Virginia. Okay, so not too far from me. That's about an hour away. I live in Haymarket, Virginia.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so we're local.
Sweet.
Good stuff. So yeah, if you go to that site, then you'll be able to see what the options are for that program. There's also an online course that's $19 a month, and there's also the 5-day challenge. I like the 5-day challenge because that's where you get interaction with the rest of the group, and you also see get a chance to work with a market leader directly to ask questions, get engagement, participate, and makes you feel a little bit more confident in moving forward because of the handholding experience. Okay.
Beautiful. I mean, just to let you know, I decided to do real estate, get into it. Actually, the first of the year, I wanted to start doing more investing and things of that nature. So you're my first stop.
All right.
First shop.
Good stuff. Well, I appreciate it. Looking forward to hopefully meeting you in person one day.
Yes, yeah. In fact, I'll buy the coffee.
Sounds great. All right, good. So I'll buy the bagel, okay?
Oh, okay.
All right, good stuff. Any other questions? Okay, so moving on real quick, I want to share you guys some success stories. Just these are just some handful of pictures where I got nice pictures of some of these students. This slide I've had for many years, I haven't really updated it, but I want to show this slide in particular because you take a look at these folks. These are all prior students. All of them have made money with us together. Every single one of them, right? These are, 10 of many, right? But if you take a look at, at them, it's very diverse, right? You got people who are white collar. You got people who are blue collar. You got people who are in their late 70s, early 80s. You got people who are in their 20s. All right. I want to stress a couple of points. The young lady with the glasses here, with the hand up like this. Now her picture doesn't show it, but she's actually 77 years old, and she did 2 deals her first year. And she's right now she's doing youth ministry to help kids out and stuff like that. But as one of our students, she was able to become really successful. All right. Another student I have, and who's not on here, was actually a graduate of high school. He was 18 years old when he first met me. He went to our meetup, and then he took our training after he graduated high school, and then he turned 19 sometime after that. And then he got his first deal 3 months after the training. And as a 19-year-old, he made $30,000. Now, I was wondering why he wasn't going to college, right? Because he said he wanted to go to college for IT, but he told me that he just immigrated. His parents immigrated from Ghana, and they didn't have enough money to pay for his college. So the $30,000 helped pay for his first several semesters of college, and he started earning money elsewhere. And now he just graduated from a 4-year university with a cybersecurity engineering degree. So I was really proud of him, but it all started with that $30,000 wholesale fee as a 19-year-old. So it was a beautiful story. Okay. Going on, the key to our members' success is that they associate themselves with like-minded individuals. All right. So there's always the naysayers out there. So you want to go ahead. You can't avoid them. You can't stop them. They have the freedom of speech. But what you want to do is protect yourself with thick skin by inoculating yourself with other people who are like-minded. Okay. You want to participate in a real estate community like Fortune Homes. All right, where we have that empowerment mentality to help you guys get through everything. And you want to expand your personal network for lead sourcing and also team building. All right. So how do you find leads? When we first started, I spent almost $0 on finding deals. Instead, I attended all these different community networking events and found deals within those communities. It doesn't cost anything to find leads there. You're meeting people, exchanging business cards, exchange phone numbers, and then you never know who they know, and you never know how they're going to treat that person that they don't know. That could be a potential deal for you. All right. So there's a lot of different people who meet in our group and then end up being lifetime partners for a business and make tons of money because of that. You never know who you're going to meet. Right. Get training. I'm sorry, I said got training here, but you mentioned get training to improve your skills that you think that you're lacking. Okay. And most of it is not just the skills, it's mostly confidence. Confidence and motivation and someone to kind of guide you along the whole process. All right. And then I don't know why I'm writing all this stuff in past tense here, but should we take massive action? Okay. Take massive action, because if you don't take action, nothing's going to matter. It doesn't matter what you know, doesn't matter who you know, but if you don't do anything with what you know or who you know, then nothing's going to happen. Okay. You have 0 chance of success if you take no action. Okay. But if you do take action, your chance of success increases dramatically. And the more action you take, the more chances of success that you'll get. Okay. Go in your local community, guys. Here's some pictures of our communities in different parts of the country. All right. Here's one out in Gainesville. All right. Here's one out in Haymarket. All right. Here's one out in Tyson's Corner, Virginia. Here's one out in Hampton, Virginia. All right. And we do a lot of recognitions too. So we have a lot of students. Now, I share this picture real quick because this guy who's holding the mic right now is one of our prior students. I love sharing his story because it's so funny. His background is that he's a barber. You can tell with his haircut, right? But he's a barber. All right. He never used a computer. So when he got his first deal on the contract, I said, great, congratulations. Send me the PDF file. And he didn't know what a PDF file was. Okay. So it's like, okay. So he took a picture on his phone and sent it to me. And so with the contract, we were able to look at that and then help him sell the contract as a wholesaler. And his first deal, he was able to make $65,000 as a barber who didn't know what a PDF file is. All right. So again, it doesn't matter what you know. It's a matter of what you do with who you know and everything. In this case here, he got a really good deal out in Woodbridge, Virginia, which is not too far from Stafford, Virginia. Okay. All right. So growing our community, okay? Right now, we are in search of a market leader because we have live events going on in all parts of the country, but we have a growing group in meetup.com in Charlotte, in Atlanta, in Orlando, and in Boulder, Colorado. But we don't have a leader who's boots on the ground leading those locations yet, okay? Or even other marketplaces that you think one day you may potentially want to lead. We want established local market leaders who will conduct local events like us that we do, local events, live events, with the following a very proven system. So the qualifications are, guy can have completed deals in the last 24 months, have a genuine interest in helping others. And if you know anyone who is interested or yourself who is interested in being a market leader, there's opportunity for us to work together even further than just a member of our group, but instead of a member, just a member as a market leader. So if you know anyone who's interested or yourself was interested, let me type my email address into the chat tool here. Okay, so feel free to copy and paste that. And then you can go ahead and contact me and then share what your interests are. You have a referral, that's great. We really appreciate it. And so Janelle, if you're in Stafford, I mean that's an hour away from us, all right? Our closest location is in Gainesville for you, all right? And then the next one in between will be in Hampton, Virginia. So there's nothing between us and Richmond and so forth. So one day maybe you can get a chance to lead the Stafford area or near Fredericksburg, right? And grow that area as well. And you'd be the person leading that marketplace. Okay.
Okay.
All right. And then in the meantime, okay, we're going to do quarterly virtual events. All right. For those who are long distance and don't have access to one of our live events, our next event we're going to do is on Wednesday, June the 5th. All right. 7 p.m. Eastern time, 5 p.m. Mountain time. I'm sorry, it should be daylight time because by then it'll be daylight savings time and not standard time anymore. So 7 p.m. Eastern daylight time and 5 p.m. Mountain daylight time. Okay. And then the topic we're going to go through is build it right and build it big. So how you build it right initially and set it up for you to build it big. So you want to always begin with the end in mind. Don't be like other folks who start like this and then they grow to a certain point and they got to redo everything because they didn't set it up properly from a legal entity perspective. Okay. So you want to set it up properly from the beginning. It doesn't, it's the same cost. It's just a question of setting it right. Okay. From the beginning. Learn more about us. All right. Go to our website at fortunehomesteam.com. And then join our Facebook group, Facebook page at facebook.com/fortunehomes-team. We have a lot of good content there, some free material. So feel free to browse around and get to know us better and see where we're located. On the Fortune Homes Team website, you'll see our different locations and you'll see our different market leaders and then the different things that we do for each marketplace. Okay. So we really look forward to really growing this group here and looking forward to growing this group the next quarter in June 5th. And then having a whole nother session with more individuals and new individuals. Okay. All right. So let me go and stop sharing my screen there and stop. And that's pretty much our presentation. I hope it was insightful. We'd love to get your feedback. We'll be sending out an email later on with a survey asking for your feedback because this is our first time doing this virtually for this group of people. So if you have any questions, you have any feedback that will help us become better, things you'd like to see, we would love to hear from you about that feedback. Okay. But in the meantime, you guys want to join the 5-day challenge or learn more about real estate, feel free to go into our website at restreetsmart.com, browse our website at Fortune Homes Team, and then look at what we do, and we'll go from there. Are there any final questions or feedback or comments before we finish the session tonight?
I only have one thing. I saw that you're looking into other locations. I would suggest looking into Madison, Alabama, close to Huntsville, Alabama. It's
Okay.
growing. It's I basically grew up there, and the thing I hate is I knew certain places were going to grow really quickly as I grew up there, but I never thought about just getting into real estate. But if you can, like, try and slice out some time and look
Okay.
into Huntsville, Madison, Alabama. They're definitely growing. And it could probably be another future place for you to grow.
Oh, wonderful. I appreciate that. And Huntsville, remind me, is that where NASA Marshall is?
Yep.
Okay. I used to work at
Yeah.
NASA, so I remember that.
Yes. They've got a lot of military families, and they usually like retire there, and they're looking for homes.
Okay.
And they're looking for decent homes. Also like single family homes, small homes. So yeah, it's definitely has grown. I can give you a quick story. My mother's home, that's a long story, but the time my parents got the home, it doubled in value within like 15 years of them having it.
Okay.
50, yeah. So I mean, it was a quick growth where they bought their home, and then the fact that everything else grew around it. So it was it's something worth looking into.
Awesome. I do appreciate that. Yeah, I
Uh-huh.
love Alabama. I've been there several times. I've been to Mobile. I've driven through Birmingham, and all this, but I haven't been to Huntsville. It's amazing because I've always wanted to see the NASA Marshall when I was working there at NASA in Hampton and also in Goddard in Maryland. But yeah, it's an interesting that you mentioned that. So yeah, I definitely look into that. Is Madison close to Huntsville, or where's that?
Yeah.
located?
Yeah, it's right next to it.
Okay.
Basically, it's Madison County, but it's also Madison City because it's grown. A
Right.
lot of people lived in Huntsville and they moved out to Madison because it's still close. It's close to Redstone Arsenal. It's close to every medical thing that you may need. You can go to Atlanta, which takes you about like 3 hours for a nice weekend trip.
Oh,
So people like that. So yeah, it's a good place, I would say, to look into.
wonderful. Well, I appreciate that. Definitely look into that. Good stuff. I appreciate everyone's feedback. Are there any other questions before we finish today? No more? All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining me. I'll be sending this recording out to everyone just for reference and for the future. And look forward to working with you guys in the near future. Feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions or anything that you guys need to help you guys move forward, okay? Thanks so much, guys. Have a good night.
Thank you so much for your
You
time.
too.
Yeah, well,
Bye.
good night.
Bye.